Enjoy English School. I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Anthony.
Welcome to December. Today is December 4th, and we're on pages 10 and 11. It's time for the book club. And this month, we're talking about West with Giraffes.
又到了我们好书俱乐部的单元咯。我们今天要介绍的好书呢，中文的名称叫做《长颈鹿男孩》，它的英文的名呢，它叫做 West with Giraffes。它是一个非常非常有趣的故事。到底怎么回事呢？它是跟什么样的这个长颈鹿有关呢？我们赶快来看看今天的内容吧。
West with Giraffes. When you go on a trip, with whom do you like to travel the most? Would you choose a friend or a family member? How about two African giraffes? Based on the true story of two giraffes that were transported across the United States during the 1930s, West with Giraffes is a novel about a one-of-a-kind journey. The book starts with Woodrow Wilson Nicholl, a 105-year-old man who learns that the Earth's wild animals are under threat from humans. He is deeply troubled by this. He thinks about his own life and how he once delivered two giraffes from New York City all the way to the San Diego Zoo in California. The story is set during the height of the Great Depression in 1938. At the age of 17, Woodrow comes across two giraffes whose lives were nearly claimed by a hurricane when they were shipped across the ocean to New York. Woodrow offers to take the animals to California. He goes on a journey with a zookeeper and a woman who dreams of becoming a journalist. The journey has many problems, from wildfires and floods to issues caused by people. West with Giraffes is a coming-of-age story that poses questions about our relationships with other people, the planet, and the wild animals that live on it.
Okay, friends, we're on pages 10 and 11. Let's read the subtitle for our story, A Wonderful Story About a Journey or a Trip of a Lifetime.
好，我们来看一下我们的副标题哦。它提到了 A Wonderful Story About a Journey of a Lifetime。我们来先看一下 Lifetime。Lifetime 的话就是终身一辈子。如果说今天呢提到 A Journey of a Lifetime， 就是一辈子都难忘的。好，比方说今天 A Friend of a Lifetime。Chris， 好，他就是一辈子的朋友 ，right？ 所以这个 lifetime 的话就是跟一辈子、终身有关的。那我们今天要讲一下的这个故事呢，是有关一个旅程，这个旅程呢是终身难忘。
Now let's learn something else about a lifetime. Usually in the past, people never left their home. And if you did travel, you might travel only once or twice in your whole life. So when we talk about a journey of a lifetime, this might be the only time in your whole life, a long time ago, when you would leave your town and see something new. So this would be something very special to leave where you were born.
没错，像以前的交通工具没有那么发达嘛，所以说今天你一旦离家要出去走一段很长的旅程，往往一辈子就是那么一次两次，然后离开了你的家，然后很久很久，可能才会再回到家，所以是一个难忘的旅程。
Okay, when you go on a trip, with whom do you like to travel the most? Okay, this sentence sounds a little tricky because we don't have that preposition. The order is a little different. We could just say, when you go on a trip, who do you like to travel with the most? That's also fine.
所以我们来先看第一段的第一句话，他说了 ，When you go on a trip， 好，你要这个出发旅行的时候呢。好，这边他写的是 With whom do you like to travel the most？ 当然也可以像老师刚刚这样讲的，你可以说 Who do you like to travel with the most？ 这个 with 放在 travel 的后面也是可以的。它就中文的意思就是说，当你旅行的时候呢，你最想跟谁一起去呢？
But I should emphasize, 我要加强 we use whom here because we travel with an object pronoun. Travel with him, her, us, them. So to be very strict with our grammar, we want to use whom here. 口语英文来说, people don't like to use the word whom. It feels very, very, like what's the word I want here? It feels very Kuban English. It feels very Kuban. But this is correct. This is the most correct sentence. It's better than who. just没那么自然. Okay, our next sentence begins. Would you choose a friend or a family member? How about 2 African giraffes?
哇哦，来看接下来这一句就很有意思咯。他告诉你说，那你会想要 Would you choose a friend or a family member？ 大多数人可能会想说啊，跟朋友去啦，或是跟自己家人去啦，对不对？但他告诉你说 How about？ 好，通常提到 How about 就是要不要就是提出一个提议一个建议 How about 2 African giraffes？ 要不要选择2只非洲长颈鹿跟他们一起这个旅游呢？这是一个从来没想过的想法吧？所以他用非常有趣的方式去介绍这个故事的主题。他是先问你说你最喜欢跟谁一起去旅游，再带入到我们的主题去看说，我们今天的主角他是跟2只非洲的长颈鹿去旅行。
It's kind of funny, right? Like, okay, I'm going to go on this long trip, maybe only once or twice in my life. Do I want to go with my husband or wife? Do I want to go with my brother, sister, mother, father? No, I want to go with these 2 giraffes. Like they would feel all bad, right?
Yeah, 蛮有趣的。
We used to play a game. It's not really a game. It's like a thought experiment. We would think about this question. Who is the worst person to drive across America with? The car doesn't have a radio. There's no Wi-Fi, no cell phones. You have to drive across America. And it's like 3-4 day drive. So it's a very long drive. And you're only in the car. Who is the worst person to drive across America with? And you think about all the people you know. Like this would be real bad.
没错。老师刚刚讲到是说，很多时候在美国，他们有所谓的那种 thought experiment or thought exercise， 意思就是那种有点像脑筋急转弯一样，就是可以问你一个问题，然后你想想看这种情况发生了会怎么样。老师就说，如果今天你要开车横渡美国的话，大概需要3到4天的时间。在当初呢是没有任何收音机
，no phones, no radio, no music，
什么音乐啊什么都没有的情况下，你会选择谁跟你一起度过这个漫长3到4天的旅程呢？你就想要所有你认识的人，然后想说哇，他们都不适合。
也是不是 like hey 你最想要 ，it's like 你最不想要的。这个也是不一样的答案，对不对？ So you have to think like wow, what would be the worst, right?
对。
So what's the best? What's the worst? Okay, let's go to our next sentence. Based on the true story of 2 giraffes that were transported across the United States during the 1930s, West with Giraffes is a novel about a one-of-a-kind journey.
好，我们来看下一句话说 Based on the true story of 2 giraffes that were transported across the United States during the 1930s. 好，这只是句子的前半，对不对？但是就已经很长了。它呢是根据一个真实的故事，好，再讲到这个 2 giraffes 2只长颈鹿 that were transported across the United States. 好，他们被横渡了这个美国，对不对？During the 1930s 是在1930年代的时候的这件事情，然后后面看到这个 West with Giraffes， 它是斜体字，也就是我们的书的这个标题。如果你碰到书名啊、电影名的话，它都会用斜体字的方式去表达。他说 West with Giraffes， 好，长颈鹿男孩这本书呢 is a novel about a one-of-a-kind journey， 好，就是一个独一无二的这样的旅程，像这样子的故事。
Okay, pick up your pencil. Let's look at the word transported. Transported just means moved. M-O-V-E-D. Transported sounds like someone else is taking you somewhere else. And then let's also look at the word journey. This is the second time we have seen this word, and a journey is a trip, but it feels very big. So we could say on a one-of-a-kind trip or a one-of-a-kind journey. Journey feels much bigger though. So T-R-I-P, trip or transported and moved.
没错，这些是重要的字汇。然后特别老师讲到说 ，journey 这个字相较于 trip 起来，感觉上是比较长，感觉上比较久，而且是比较大的一个字 journey。其实它就是 trip 旅途的意思。
Okay, our next sentence is the book starts with Woodrow Wilson Nicholl, a 105-year-old man who learns that the Earth's wild animals are under threat from humans.
好，我们来看下面这句话，他就说到 The book starts with 好，我们看到了我们的主角叫做 Woodrow Wilson Nicholl 他是主角，他告诉你他的背景是 a 105-year-old man。这个地方特别小心，是因为他要去讲到105岁，这个105岁它是形容词，所以你不会看到这个 year 后面没有那个 s。你可以在上面写一个 s， 然后把它擦掉，这是老师最喜欢的做法。你会有一个印象说，这边的话因为是形容词，它中间有这个 hyphen 把它连接起来，但是这个 s 的话是不可以加的。然后他说 ，Who learns that the Earth's wild animals are under threat from humans？ 然后他就说了，这地球上的野生动物呢，其实正面临着很多的威胁 ，under threat from humans， 就是来自人类所带来的威胁。
Please underline under threat from, and we can write in danger from humans. So we can also say we learn that the Earth's wild animals are in danger from humans. And let's go to our next sentence. All right.
Okay.
He is deeply troubled by this, so he's very unhappy. When we are deeply troubled, this is more than just unhappy.This is super, super unhappy. Please underline deeply troubled and write very unhappy.
所以这边的话，这个 deeply troubled 就是非常非常的困扰，觉得说天哪，我们原来对这个很多的生物造成这么大的威胁。你可以提到其他的一些表达方式，比方说 put 然后 animals at risk or。in danger， 老师刚刚讲到这些字都很好，所以这边他提到说 deeply troubled by this， 它就是深受其扰的意思。
Okay, let's continue. He thinks about his own life, and he's 105 years old. So think 105 years ago from the 1930s. The world is a very different place in just one lifetime, right? So he thinks about his own life and how he once delivered 2 giraffes from New York City all the way to the San Diego Zoo in California. That's across the country. Today, it takes 3 or 4 days to drive across America. He drove these 2 giraffes across America long before there were cars and highways.
哇，你可以想象一下，很夸张哎。所以你看他这边还有讲到说 ，he thinks about his own life， 他回顾过去，对不对？他这一生 ，and how he once delivered。2 giraffes from New York City 是在这个美国的东北角，对不对？好 ，all the way to the San Diego Zoo in California， 一路到加州的这个 San Diego 它的这个动物园，所以等于是横跨了整个这个美国。可是想象看，它是在1930年代，那时候呢，没有什么我们像现在的汽车啊、飞机啊这些东西，它这样横跨的一个过程是很漫长，而且一定是让人非常非常记忆深刻的。
Okay, Anthony, and everyone watching, what do you think would be the best or worst animal to drive across America? Again, you're in the car for like 3 or 4 days with them.
所以他就问我说，你觉得如果说是3天到4天这种开车的旅途上，到底带着什么动物是最好的动物，或是最糟糕的动物呢？我自己觉得话，应该是带个乌龟。然后又很安静，然后又不会乱跑，我觉得很棒。
And they're like, if it runs away, you can catch it, right? But they eat very dangerously. They bite very fast, right?
没错。
So just don't let it run away. Okay, for me, my worst animal would be my cat, Feifei. I drove my cat, Feifei, to our house from New York to North Carolina. 大概9个小时. And my cat hated it so much. He was so sad. And so if we drive 不是9个小时, 30天, my poor cat went crazy. And he was so sad, just meow, 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 meow. And I think too sad for me.
呀，没错，老师提到说呢，他的话最不希望就是带他的猫，然后来开车，因为之前他有从纽约，然后开到北卡罗来纳州，中间大概8-9个小时吧，然后那个猫就一直叫，一直叫，一直叫。如果今天
So sad.
对啊，好听的都好心疼。他如果说今天要带他这样子开一个3-4天的话，他应该受不了，不可能。
Poor Veve. Okay, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we got paragraph 2. Okay, friends, welcome back to more Enjoy English School. It's the book club, and we're talking about West with giraffes. I want to ask you, what animal would you like to drive across America with? Or what animal wouldn't you like to drive across America with? What about a big spider? And you could hear it in the box.
啊，没错，老师要问你说，你觉得如果说今天要横渡美国的话，你今天开车，你觉得什么动物跟他一起坐着，这样会很辛苦？然后什么样的动物是最棒的这个旅伴 ？OK， 你 How about？ 他说你觉得如果说今天你把一个蜘蛛放在箱子里面，然后他听他这样子爬爬的，会不会很可怕？
All right, let's continue. The story is set during the height of the Great Depression in 1938. Okay.
好 ，OK， 我们来看第二段第一句话，他说了 ，The story is set。好，我们提到的是这个故事场景是设定在什么地方呢？During the height of the Great Depression in 1938。好 ，The Great Depression 就是美国的经济大萧条。我相信各位有听过1929年的时候，哇，本来是股市一路大好，各方面都很好，然后突然之间，好凄惨，对不对？所以1929到1939这段时间是非常非常辛苦的，也就是美国的经济大萧条。刚好这故事的背景设定在1938年经济大萧条最严重的时候。
So the Great Depression was a time when most people didn't have a job. Well, 25% of Americans couldn't find a job. And if you had a job, you had less money. And food was more expensive of this time because the weather in the middle part of America was really bad. So there was not a lot of food. You didn't have money. If you did have a job, you made less money. Everybody had a bad time in the Great Depression.
所以在那个时期呢，其实不只是说25%的人找不到工作，此外呢，在中西部那个地方呢，其实有很严重的这种就是饥荒啦，或者是旱灾啦等等，所以到后来食物不够，然后没有钱，好，或是没有工作等等，所以大家都过得很辛苦。
All right, let's continue. At the age of 17, Woodrow comes across 2 giraffes whose lives were nearly claimed by a hurricane when they were shipped across the ocean to New York. All right, when we say your life was nearly claimed, this is a very fancy way to say to die. These 2 giraffes nearly died in a hurricane.
OK， 所以这边的话，我们看到 claim 这个字，如果今天提到 claim， 平常的时候的话，是在机场的时候，你要 claim your luggage 去领行李。但如果说今天提到的是说claim lives 指的意思就是指拿走了这个性命，所以在这个地方他提到说 at the age of 17 Woodrow comes across 2 giraffes whose lives were nearly claimed， 他们的生命差点要被老天爷领走了夺走了这样的感觉，所以这个地方他提到说我们的主角17岁的这个 Woodrow， 他呢偶遇了2只长颈鹿 comes across 2 giraffes， 然后这2只长颈鹿呢差一点就没命了，为什么呢？他说 nearly claimed by a hurricane when they were shipped across the ocean to New York。 我们在第一段里面提到 transported。Dude,
you know exactly what I'm thinking.
没错，所以在这个地方他提到 ship 就是被运送，在运送的过程当中差一点点在飓风中丧命了，所以这时候的话刚好遇到了这2只差点丢命的长颈鹿。
Draw an arrow here. Transported, shipped. Shipped is on the water. Transported, 都可以 here. Airplane, car, train. Draw an arrow so you remember. Let's go to our next sentence. Woodrow offers to take the animals to California. And everyone's like, okay.
所以他讲说，哎呀，这2只好可怜呐。说 Woodrow offers to take the animals to California. When you offer to do something， 就是说，哎，那我提议，我愿意自己来做这件事情。所以呢，我们的主角就提议说，哎，我决定带着这些动物去加州吧。
So I could not find how long it would take to drive across America in the 1930s, but I do know that the first trip from California to New York, it was in 1903, and it took 63 days.
哇，所以说第一趟旅程是从这个纽约到这个加州的话，它大概是要花63天的时间才能够抵达了。所以说，老师虽然看不到说1930年，如果说今天要把这两只动物送到加州，到底要花多久？但是这是一个指标，
超过2个月。
很夸张哎。
All right, let's continue here. Let's go to our next sentence. He goes on a journey with a zookeeper and a woman who dreams of becoming a journalist. A journalist is a reporter. They work at newspapers.
没错，这个 journalist 就是指记者的意思。平常我们也可以用到 reporter 这个字来表达。他这边就说了 ，He goes on a journey。好，这边的话用 go on a journey， 有时候你还会看到 set out on a journey， 就是开启了这个旅程，对不对 ？With a zookeeper， 好，还有旅伴哦。这个旅伴是动物园管理员。然后呢 ，and a woman。Who dreams of becoming a journalist？ 还有另外一个希望成为新闻记者的女人，他们3人跟2只这个长颈鹿一同踏上这个神秘的道路，非常非常特别的一个旅程。
So you have to bring enough food for the giraffes, right? And they eat like lots of leaves, and they eat a lot too. So they're bringing a lot of food with them.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue here. The journey has many problems, from wildfires and floods to problems caused by people. Please underline issues and write problems.
所以这个地方指的 issues 指的就是这些问题，好，所以这个过程当中你可以想象他们会遭遇到非常非常多的问题和阻碍，对不对？所以他就说了 ，The journey has many problems, from wildfires， 好，可能是野火。And floods， 好，还有大洪水，对不对？这样不是提到 hurricane 吗？那可能就是洪水嘛。那就是他这个地方他提到说 ，to issues caused by people， 还有人所造成的问题，都是问题啊。
We have from A to B grammar here. You can underline that. Hao Young. Let's continue. West with Giraffes is a coming of age story. That means growing up. That poses questions about our relationships with other people, the planet, and the wild animals that live on it.
Yeah， 所以最后就告诉你说，我们这本书呢，好，长颈鹿男孩 West with Giraffes is a coming of age story， 它是一个青春成长的故事，因为主角那时候才17岁嘛，对不对 ？That poses questions， 他会询问出非常非常多的问题 about our relationships。With other people， 人跟人之间的关系 ，the planet， 我们跟这个地球的关系 ，and the wild animals that live on it。好，还有我们跟这些其他动物彼此之间的关系，去探讨这些问题。
Don't forget to tell us what animals would you like to drive across America with? What animals wouldn't you like to drive across America with? And we'll be back tomorrow with day 2 of More Enjoy English School. I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Anthony.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.